You're watching YanaTV.
Hi, this is Yana, and you're watching YanaTV. And today we have an incredible guest with us, Emma Tiebens, who came visiting to Singapore, speaking at the WOW conference the other day. And Emma is a best-selling author, a marketing expert, and a keynote speaker. So Emma, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here.
No, it's a pleasure, and I heard a lot about your work, and I know it's fantastic. And today you are this really empowered woman that is living the life of your dreams.
Yes.
And at the same time, I know that for every successful person, there has been a journey that led you to where you are today. And we are particularly interested in stories.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could share with us what is the journey that you went on to become who you are today.
Wow, I love telling my stories because I'm all about stories.
Well, I'm a good listener.
Thank you. Well, I'm not gonna go as far back as when I was born, but basically it started when I migrated to the United States in 1989 from the Philippines.
Mm-hmm. So you were born in the Philippines.
I was born and raised in the Philippines, and I moved to the United States in 1989.
May I ask how old you are?
I was 25.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I can understand English, but I wasn't fluent. And I was very intimidated. I couldn't function well. But then I was able to get a job. I was hired as a international flight attendant for a big US airline. And that really changed my life. Traveled the world, just met so many wonderful people until I eventually married my husband at that time. And they said, marry me, fly free, right?
That's a good pitch line.
So he did. But so yes, life was great. Everything was going wonderful. Then we decided we wanted to have children, but we didn't realize that it wasn't as simple as it was going to be, because I couldn't conceive. And so we did everything that science could offer, all kinds of surgeries. I probably went through at least 10 surgeries. Got pregnant 3 times, lost all of them.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, thank you. So we decided to vacation in my homeland, in Philippines. We were there for 6 days. We came back and I conceived naturally. And then, so that was like, okay, life is great. We're gonna be parents or whatever. So when my son was about to be born, that was a pivotal moment in my life, because it was a big emergency. Like, I woke up one morning and I was in excruciating pain. I was crawling on the floor, and I called my husband and I said, you gotta call the ambulance, because this is not labor pains. They rushed me to the hospital, and they poking and prodding and doing all kinds of stuff, and they said, okay, we gotta take them to the hospital, their own hospital, because it was emergency room. But then the doctor said, oh no, we can't take them to the hospital because the baby's vitals are dropping fast. We gotta do surgery now. So then before you know it, there's lights flashing that says code red, code red. We gotta take them to the OR now and get the baby out. And my husband then says, oh no, doctor, I gotta go back to the car to get the camera. Because if this baby is born without the camera, I'm a dead man. So that's what happened. He went back, we did the whole thing, and laying down, strapped in, and all I could hear behind the green curtain was that the doctor saying, oh my God, Mr. Tiebens, a few more minutes, you would have lost them both. I had a ruptured uterus with a hole really like the size of a quarter.
Oh my God.
And we could have, it could have really died within a few minutes of when they found out the baby's vitals were dropping. So from that moment on, Yana, when I was holding my baby and I was looking at him, he's a baby boy, he's 14 now.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And I look at when I remember that day when I said it's a chance for a second life, and that I was going to live a life on purpose and I will help others find theirs. So that was the pivotal moment of that. Well, it wasn't all rosy and glamorous after
Well, of
that.
course. I mean, when you do something that dramatic, actually,
Yes.
as it isn't, I know for many women, especially conceiving baby, it could be a big dream, and it could be also quite a difficult experience.
Yes.
And also when magic happens and you have it natural, and then you're about to lose your baby. I mean, clearly you had to probably reconcile within yourself.
Yes.
And in your mind,
Yes.
about everything in your life.
Exactly. So I was flying, I've been flying as a, flight attendant for 7 years at that point, and I said, there's got to be a better way. I can't leave my son for days on. I wanted him so badly. And so I started to become an entrepreneur. My first venture as an entrepreneur was as a jeweler. I plunked it. I invested hundreds, thousands of dollars in this jewelry business, buying all kinds of gems and hiring people to create it for me and all that. And it failed miserably because there was one thing that was lacking, which was my knowledge of marketing. I did not know how to market. I was passionate about the jewelry and the gemstones, but marketing. So that's when I started investing more money in mentors, in courses, in seminars, and really going through the ropes of learning how to market online and offline, networking and all that. So yeah, I learned so much, but then I was thinking, if I'm struggling like this, how many more entrepreneurs are struggling out there? That was my pain. And so I established a process. I narrowed it down to my pain, my process, and my promise, right? To make it simple. So that was my pain, is that there's nobody coming. I built it, they didn't come. And so that's how it started my journey of being an entrepreneur. And for the past 5 years now, I've become a speaker, an author, a brand marketing strategist. I'm a show host. I'm a blogger. I'm a podcaster. And
gosh, you're like so many talents.
But I just generally find a need, or I like to simplify things. So because marketing is not a cookie cutter thing, you have to tailor it to the people. So to this day, I'm still growing. But then right when I thought that life was, in motion, everything good, my son is growing, then the inevitable of me having to separate from my husband. It happened 2 years ago. So my soulmate, my dream relationship, it just came crumbling down, because there's something about, I think, pursuing a dream where you're just so focused on the dream that some people don't understand that passion, and they may not be necessarily on board as much as you are, and they don't understand, right? So it crumbled. The relationship just crumbled, and
because you were pursuing your dream.
Because I was pursuing my dream, and he had issues on his own. But I don't like to focus on his issues, because I know that I have a role in it too. But the main thing is that we were able to live, not together, but peacefully, amicably, with compassion and respect. And that's, for me, that's one of the successes that I've had last year. As we're going through this, I was able to have my son look at that big picture and say, you know what, even if we're not all together, we can still love each other.
Emma, first of all, thank you for sharing. Okay,
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. It's a very touching story.
Oh, thank you.
And you brought up a very interesting topic, that very often when we go for something that we believe in, like we have a vision, we are passionate, and we feel that we want to be part of the bigger picture, there are sacrifices.
Yes.
And what happens often, that people don't realize that there will be sacrifices.
Yes.
And often it is not what you expected it would be. So it could be anything, relationships, health, like there are all kinds of things. So I guess my question to you, do you think, is there a way to follow your dream and to show up in the world, kind of that gorgeous, strong, spiritual being that you are, and to make your difference, and at the same time choose what are you willing to sacrifice and what not, instead of for the life just take it away from you, right?
Yes, that's absolutely right. I mean, everything is a choice, because if you're not choosing, you're a victim. So we choose, like in my case, I choose to use this somewhat, not a disagreement, but this a crack in a relationship to look inward on who I really was. Was I being dependent on him? Was I asking too much of him? Right? Was I demanding more understanding from him? So I took that focus on the other person, and I looked inward, and I developed who I am inside. And as I did that, my son, who's, like I said, he's 14, was looking at me, because our children, they watch us what we do.
They mirror us,
and they mirror
right?
us.
I mean, it's not like they become us.
They become
basically.
us. So if you're like putting hatred and all the negativity and all that, they pick up on that, and it's not useful. So we will have these open discussions, but bottom line, everything is, there's just only love. When you go back to the higher the higher plane of love. All these things is just like irrelevant. And then you say, okay, well, he could be a, mean or saying all these bad things about you, but it's a reflection of him. It's not about you. You see, when you look inward, all those things just kind of dissipate a little bit, dissolve.
So now when you look at where you are, right, and also given all the sacrifices that maybe you had to endure to get, do you think it was worth it?
Oh, Yana, I love my life right now.
Okay.
But you know what? My girlfriends ask me, so you're looking for that life that you had before, because we had investments, we had houses, we had the life together, right? And so I said, now I'm building my own queendom.
Queendom, I love it. It's not kingdom, it's queendom.
It's queendom, and at some point the right king will show up, and it's the right king that understands what I do and will not expect me to be anything less than who I am.
Wow, this is very profound. Emma, you come across as being a very strong and grounded woman. So my question to you is, where do you draw your strength from?
Oh, wow. I think I draw my strength knowing that we are part of a bigger power, the energy that created the worlds. And it moves me, even right, just me saying that, it brings tears to my eyes. It just, because the gratitude. I can't believe I'm tearing up. It's a beautiful opportunity to be alive. And yeah, I draw power from that. And of course, my son. Oh, he and I have this relationship where we're just like best buddies, and he blows me away. He's into Ashtanga yoga. He meditates. We meditate together. We do yoga together.
Very close bond.
Very close bond. And at the same time, I'm able to tell him, to love on his father as well. It's not just about me and him. And he's also a speaker. He's an inspirational speaker. So my dream is to really for us to go out in the
At the
world.
age of 14?
It's 14. Yeah, I know. So I draw my power from that belief that there's so much more to this, what we see, and that there's a higher purpose for everything that's happening in our lives. If we choose to look at the end that says, yes, this is exactly where you're supposed to be, instead of saying, why did it happen again? Why? What the heck was that? So that's where I draw my power from.
Thank you so much, Emma, for sharing your story with us today. It's very touching. And that was Emma Tiebens on YanaTV. As you can see, a very strong woman with a very vulnerable story who honors actually her vulnerability, and she drew a lot of strength and power to build the life that she has today. So for you guys, honor your vulnerability, go for your power, and we talk to you next week.
Very frustrated when the guys on the rig would refer to the fact that I was a woman. The reality is, as one of my friends said to me, you are a woman. Why are you so afraid of that? And what we have to do is we have to realize that all around us we have seen examples of male leadership, right? And masculine qualities of leadership. But that does not mean it's the only type of leadership. And we don't have to feel like we need to replicate what men do in order to be successful. So do what you do, whatever it is that you do it well,